Iran has been gripped by an intense and extremely violent state crackdown on nationwide protests that erupted in late December 2025 amid a deepening economic crisis and widespread dissatisfaction with the country's political system. Multiple reports suggest large-scale killings, indiscriminate use of lethal force by security forces, and allegations of orders from the highest levels of leadership to use any means necessary to suppress dissent. The protests began on December 28, 2025 in response to the collapse of the Iranian rial and soaring living costs. Demonstrations spread rapidly across provinces, with tens of thousands of citizens, many young people and families, taking to the streets in cities large and small. As demonstrations intensified, the government shut down internet access nationwide on January 8, 2026, one of the longest digital blackouts in Iran's history, making independent verification of events inside the country especially difficult. According to some online reports and opposition sources circulated internationally, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is alleged to have instructed security forces to show no mercy in quelling protests, prompting extreme violence by units of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and affiliated Basij militia. These claims include descriptions of security operatives firing directly into crowds and using birdshot and live ammunition, resulting in widespread injuries including serious eye trauma. Such accounts have also circulated on less established news sites portraying these orders as direct commands from Iran's supreme leader and describing alleged tactics like deliberately targeting children's eyes. These particular narratives have not been independently verified by recognized international news agencies or human rights organizations. While the full scale of violence is obscured by the blackout and restricted reporting, credible rights groups and international media report thousands of deaths and serious injuries. Human rights activists' news agency, HRANA, has reported verified deaths in the thousands, with many more under investigation. The United Nations Special Rapporteur on Iran said evidence suggests civilian deaths may exceed 20,000, based on medical and eyewitness reports inside the country. Independent media outlets cite hospital records and internal health ministry sources indicating that tens of thousands could have been killed during the worst days of the crackdown, particularly on the 8th and the 9th of January 2026, when emergency wards were overwhelmed and deaths surged. In addition to adult casualties, children have been among those killed and injured, with verified reports of minors dying in the protests or caught in indiscriminate gunfire. Iranian government officials and state media have strongly denied extreme casualty figures and allegations of deliberate targeting of civilians. Tehran has often attributed unrest and deaths to terrorists or foreign interference and has argued that many fatalities occurred in clashes initiated by violent elements within demonstrations. Human rights organizations and foreign governments have condemned the use of excessive force, called for independent investigations, and emphasized that killing or injuring peaceful protesters, especially children, violates international law. The internet blackout and reports of detainees being removed from hospitals or facing ransom demands for release have intensified global scrutiny. Because of the near-total internet shutdown, limited foreign press access, and government suppression of information, many detailed claims circulating on social media or single-source outlets cannot be independently confirmed. Analysts and rights groups continue to piece together data from smuggled videos, medical records shared by insiders, and testimonies from families of victims. What is clear? A large-scale crackdown by Iranian security forces has resulted in thousands of deaths and injuries during protests. Internet blackouts and state controls have severely limited independent reporting. International bodies and rights groups have condemned the violence. What is unverified? Specific orders purportedly issued by Ayatollah Khamenei directing forces to deliberately blind children come from outlets that have not been corroborated by independent global news sources or verified by human rights monitors. On Tuesday, January 27, 2026, U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar was the target of a disturbing attack during a town hall meeting in Minneapolis, Minnesota when a man charged the stage and sprayed her with an unknown liquid, according to police and eyewitness reports. The incident unfolded moments after Omar was speaking to constituents at a local event. Video and witness accounts show a 55-year-old man, identified by police as Anthony Kazmierczak, walking down the center aisle toward the podium where Omar was speaking. He then appeared to use a plastic syringe to squirt a liquid at her before being tackled to the ground by security personnel and immediately detained by officers present at the event. The sudden attack sparked alarm and shouted reactions from those attending the town hall. One attendee was heard saying, "Oh my God, he sprayed something on her," as a strong vinegar-like odor filled the room. Photos taken after the incident showed the syringe, containing what appeared to be a light brown liquid, lying on the floor. Despite the unexpected disruption, Omar continued her remarks for about 25 more minutes, vowing not to be intimidated and emphasizing her resilience in the face of political violence. She was not immediately reported to be injured, though she did undergo a medical screening shortly after. Minneapolis police confirmed that officers saw Kazmierczak use a syringe to spray the unknown substance and booked him into Hennepin County Jail on suspicion of third-degree assault. It was unclear at the time whether Kazmierczak had legal representation or what charges he might face beyond the initial booking. Forensic teams responded to analyze the substance and gather evidence. The town hall was held against a backdrop of heightened political tensions in Minneapolis and nationwide. Omar's remarks just before the attack included criticism of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and a call for the resignation of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, comments that mirrored deepening divisions over federal immigration policy. While the substance sprayed has not been publicly identified, its presence and the manner of the attack prompted concern from lawmakers and political observers about the safety of elected officials during public events. Since the event, local law enforcement agencies have launched an investigation into the assault, and federal authorities are reportedly monitoring the situation closely. Government and community leaders have underscored the importance of civility and safety in political discourse. Despite the shock of the moment, Omar's decision to remain at the podium and continue speaking was seen by supporters as a demonstration of resolve in the face of intimidation tactics. And now, you know the news.